Hi, and welcome to this live reading from When We Fell Again by Julie Archer. And this is presented by Itsy Bitsy Book Bits. Prologue. 1 year ago. I couldn't do it. I couldn't fucking do it. I needed something to get me through the next 45 minutes without any pain, without any memories, without any feelings. My fingers tapped against my kneecap, my leg jiggling with nerves. Too easy. Too easy to send a message and have someone here within minutes, but I had to do it. I had to do it to get the fuck out on that stage for the most important 45 minutes of my life before they were gone forever. Make or break. Reaching for my phone, I sent out the SOS. 10 minutes later, the door opened a crack. Oh, the irony. All right, Jordan? Dexter appeared in the room, shifting from foot to foot. If you didn't know he was already wired, that would have been a giveaway. Are you alone? Uh-huh. I hauled my arse up out of the chair and stepped towards him. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a baggie. You sure about this? It's pretty strong shit, mate. Don't want you joining the 27 Club, do we? My lip twitched. The stronger the better, as far as I was concerned. Let's do it. Scrunching the bag into his palm, Dexter tilted his head. Can you pay me now? I'm about to go on stage. Do I look like I've got a bunch of cash on me? I threw up my hands. You know I'm good for it. His face softened. I guess you don't get a support slot like this one without being paid a shit ton of money. Free pass until after the show? Absolutely. I beckoned him towards me. Now let me see the goods. Dexter grinned, tossing me the drugs. All yours, Rockstar. I'll see you later to collect my debt. And with a wave, he was gone. I didn't see him later, and it wasn't me who joined the 27 Club that night. Chapter 1. Jordan. I'm sorry, Jordan. It's not great news. I clenched my jaw, willing the doc to give me some mind-bending painkillers and let me go on my way. Sitting on a hospital bed, topless and freezing my nuts off while the judgy doctor checked out my inks wasn't the way I wanted to spend my Wednesday afternoon. If I hadn't been in so much pain, I might have flirted a bit harder with her because she was pretty easy on the eye. Right, I acknowledged, trying to keep my tone measured. Go on. The consultant looked at her notes, presumably consulting the results of the x-ray I'd had. You have a dislocated shoulder. No shit. I guess it served me right for going to a kid's playground after a skinful of beer and whiskey in the middle of the afternoon, then fucking about on the swings meant for much younger people than me. I'm only in A&E because my bandmates pressured me to get it checked out. We're due to start something of a comeback tour in 2 weeks, and postponing it is not an option. At least that's what the management said. It isn't serious enough to warrant you going into theater to have it put back into place, so one of the nurses here will do it, she said. Her eyes met mine, pupils dilating. We'll sort you out with some pain relief or a sedative. My interest peaked at the mention of pain relief. What happens after that? Can I go home? She nodded. We'll do another x-ray to check the shoulder joint is back in place, but you'll need to wear a sling for a few days while the pain settles. You'll need to take some time off work as well. How long? I have some commitments coming up. What do you do? Trying not to take offense that she wasn't a fan, I sucked in a breath. Lead singer with Idol Rev. We're going on tour. The consultant stifled a snort. Sorry, Jordan. I don't think that will be possible. You need to rest for at least 2 weeks before you can resume any kind of physical activity. But you can give me something for pain relief, right? Like codeine or a shot, just to get me through the gigs. I promise I'll rest the entire remainder of the time. I narrowed my eyes, mentally counting the days between now and when we were meant to leave. Her mouth pursed. That's not a long-term fix. It's just something short-term to get me through the tour. I promise we can't change the dates. It sounded like I was begging, but for a whole heap of reasons, the tour couldn't be called off. particularly if I wanted to have a career afterwards. Your health is more important than a tour, surely. Yeah, if I hadn't been a dick and got wasted only a few days before we're due to leave. Turning my best pleading look on her, I gave it one more shot. Don't make me beg. There was a flicker of something in her gaze, and she looked away. Bingo. Let me see what I can do. In the meantime, I'll arrange for the nurse to sort out your shoulder manipulation. Ha, manipulation. I was already pretty good at that if her reaction was anything to go by. Once she'd gone, I leaned back against the pillows, trying to ignore the pain. I was desperate for something to get me through, anything to take me off that hospital bed to another place. My mind chose that moment to kick in with a vengeance, reminding me of the last time I had been in the hospital and the consequences for others. My already cold body dropped in temperature by another degree as I screwed up my eyes to try and rid myself of the memory. My phone jiggled in my pocket. Pulling it out with my good arm, I squinted at the message. Levi. So what's the latest? Do you need me to come and pick you up? I tried not to laugh, feeling the vibrations of pain all over my body. Levi was as wasted as me, and if he hadn't encouraged me to swing higher in the first place, I wouldn't have fallen off and landed heavily on my shoulder. There was no way I'd let him get behind the wheel of a car. Seriously, we were such a bad influence on each other. It took me a while to type back a reply using only one hand. Jordan. Dislocated shoulder. The doc reckons I can't tour, but bollocks to that. Levi. Shit. Sorry, man. Levi Kennedy and I had been friends since the age of 14. We met at school and bonded over our love of hardcore punk and alternative rock music. Always the outsiders, we presented a united front to anyone who ever gave a shit. 12 years of friendship, and I doubted it would ever change. He was the brother I never had, and we were closer than any family. Plus, his guitar skills were out of this world. Oh, and his brother, Jude, also played a mean set of drums. With the addition of Robbie Benson on bass, we were a pretty solid unit. No one got between us. Ever. Levi. How long are you going to be? We're wondering whether to get a takeaway. My stomach rumbled. Couldn't remember the last time I ate something. Did I have breakfast or lunch or anything other than alcohol? It was all a bit hazy. Jordan. Don't know. Have to have the shoulder put back in, then another x-ray, so fuck knows how long that will take. All I wanted to do was go home, preferably with a bag full of opiates. Levi. Okay, keep me posted, yeah? I sent him back a thumbs up emoji, the pain in my left shoulder almost too much to bear with the effort of typing out another long message. As if on cue, a nurse pushed back the curtain and entered the cubicle. Okay, Jordan, are you ready for the procedure now? Let's do this, I nodded. He handed me a small cup with a couple of pills in it. Take these, then we'll get started. Without needing any further prompting, I necked the two tablets and swallowed them down with some water. The nurse got me to sit on the bed with my left side towards him. He took hold of my arm and rotated around the shoulder joint. The movement seemed to go on for eternity, but after a few moments, there was a crunching sound, a thunderbolt of pain I'd never felt before, and then it popped back into its socket. A stream of profanities tumbled from my lips, and I watched the nurse fighting back a grin. Clearly, it wasn't the first time he'd witnessed that type of reaction. How are you doing? He asked. Like it isn't obvious. He practically doubled over with the pain of the procedure. What the fuck do you think? I hissed. Even with whatever the fuck painkillers he'd given me, I was in all sorts of trouble. Take a breath, sit back against the pillows, and try to relax, he suggested. I'll go and find a sling so we can settle the pain. Then we'll check everything is in the right place with another x-ray. How long do you think that will be? No idea, sorry. I'll try to get you out of here as quickly as possible. The nurse picked up my checked shirt from the chair by the bed. Do you want to put this back on? Yeah. It was fucking freezing in that damn cubicle that I wasn't going to getting out of anytime soon. I never had a guy take so much care getting me into a shirt. Usually it was women who wanted to rip it off. But when he lifted my left arm to slide it into the sleeve, I saw why. Grimacing against the discomfort, I sucked in a breath until it was over. Slumping back against the pillows from the effort, I closed my eyes. I'll be back as soon as I can. I heard the rustle of the curtain and sensed I was alone again. The relaxing effect of the pills was starting to kick in, and I drifted in and out of consciousness. Even though it was only snippets of sleep, I had vivid images of flying off the swing and crashing into the ground. Each time I jolted upright as if trying to stop the impact. At this rate, I'll be exhausted. Having lost all concept of time, I had no idea how long it was before the nurse returned. On this occasion, I was less vocal as he took me to the X-ray department and left me there to get the final scans done. All I wanted to do was go home and sleep. Another 100 years passed before the consultant finally came back and gave me the all clear. She put my arm in a sling and handed me a pamphlet with some information about exercises and recovery. Before I was allowed to leave, she also gave me a prescription for super strength painkillers and firm warnings about mixing them with alcohol. It was entirely possible she'd Googled me and believed the things she'd read, some of which were true. Dutifully, I nodded and agreed to the terms of my release, and then headed to the reception area to sort out an Uber. While I waited for the car to arrive, I messaged Levi. Jordan, want to organize that food now? I'm starving. Levi, sorry, mate. We've already eaten, but I'll get something for you. What do you want? I resisted the urge to roll my eyes. There was me thinking I was the important one, when in reality, my bandmates had already forgotten about me. Jordan, don't care. Chicken, pizza, whatever. Levi, you got it. I could go for some pizza anyway. The car pulled up and I checked it was mine. Sliding into the back, I rested my head on the seat, fighting the fatigue slowly enveloping me. Wait, I said to the driver, suddenly remembering my prescription. Can we stop at the pharmacy on the way home? Sure. He nodded and drove the short distance to the nearest chemist. Thankfully, there weren't too many people in there, and I made it in and out within 10 minutes. Any longer, and I'd have been dead on my feet. On the final journey back to the house, I popped 2 of the painkillers, neglecting to read the instructions. Consequences be damned. Here he is, declared Levi the moment I got into the living room. How you doing, buddy? Jude looked up from his phone. Pizza's in the kitchen. Beer, too. Don't think that's a good idea, do you? Levi looked between the two of us. That's what got us into this mess in the first place. I'll grab you some juice. He got up and went to the kitchen, returning with a pizza box and a pint of OJ. Here you go. Hungrily, I grabbed the box with my good hand, setting it on my lap and opening it. I practically inhaled the meat feast, honestly not knowing when the last time I ate was. With everything swimming around in my bloodstream, I needed something to stabilize myself. While I was eating, my phone rang. The screen displayed Kelvin Francis, our manager's number. Stick him on speaker, I gestured to Levi to answer on my behalf. He did as he was told, placing the phone on the arm of the chair. Jordan, what the fuck happened this time? Kelvin didn't believe in beating around the bush. Good news travels fast then. Whatever happened to you? Are you okay? When it comes to you, Jordan, Kelvin let the sentence trail off. To be fair, this wasn't his first rodeo in picking up the pieces after one of my monumental fuck-ups. It's all under control, I tried my best to reassure him. Got a sling, some pretty shit hot painkillers, and there's nothing that can stop me going on this tour.